You need to understand when you see these costumes on stage, every one of them has been created here by our costume shop. So they are essential to the brand of the theatre as a place of artistic excellence.
Well, I started as a performer, and I happened to be in a show in Ohio where I wasn't necessarily thrilled with the clothes, and I thought, oh my God, I can do better than that. And actually put my mind to it and got myself a couple of, like low-budget community theater gigs where I put my hand to it, and after a couple shows under my belt, I just started selling myself as a costumer and not as an actor anymore. For a rep season, it's all about timing. Because we're mounting 3 shows or sometimes 4 shows simultaneously, and because they all open one right after another because of our schedule, then making sure that we're on a constant rotation from show to show to show is what becomes important. So finding the right time to work with our actors and to work with us, and then getting that all into a nice rotation becomes one of the more difficult things. This year we were very fortunate with Matchmaker. The designer Virgil Johnson came to us from Minnesota. He is old school, and he is a mature gentleman who doesn't have as many projects on his plate as a 25-year-old. So he met with our director, Peter Amster, all the way back last March, and they started talking over what they wanted the Matchmaker to look like. By May, I already had rough sketches of what the show was going to look like. Virgil and I were fortunate enough to both have plenty of time, so we flew to New York and got all of the fabrics, shopped all of the fabrics back in June. At that point, we called Virgil in from Minneapolis. We flew him down, and we called all of the actors in one at a time and fit our patterns. From that point, he changes his designs or fine-tunes them to the actor's body, and we fine-tune that mock-up. Then we get to dig through that box of fabrics that we shopped back in May and pull out the fabrics that the costume is going to be made of and start cutting them out of the real fabric. Our process got interrupted a little bit because after that, we had to jump into the fall musical. And then Christmas came in, and then New Year's came in, and then dress rehearsal started. So I mean, it was just a mad dash to get those 3 shows open in January. But so fortunate, because the hardest of them was Matchmaker. That was the one, it's a period show, and for that you can't go to Target or Saks even and get the right clothes. So those we have to start from scratch on in most cases.
Right now with the 3 shows, the show that I did last night was Matchmaker, and the show that I'm going to be doing this afternoon is Good People. So while I'm running Good People, I'm doing the maintenance on Matchmaker, and I'm also preparing for Both Your Houses tonight. And in between all of that, I'm also doing haircuts, so I have 7 haircuts today, and I'm preparing for the next show, which opens in March, which is Our Betters. I get the script, and I read through the script several times, so that way I can at first get the overall view of what the play is about, the general characters, and then when I read it again over and over, I get a much more clear picture of each character and their personality, so that way that comes out in the visuals of their hair and, of course, part of the costume. I build the wigs on a mesh, and it's usually human hair, and I hand tie 1 to 2 strands per knot into this mesh, which is a netting. And it takes about 30-40 hours to build a wig, and after the wig is built, I go into styling. Of course, before that, I'm doing research, figuring out what time period it is first, and then looking into what styles work for the actor, solidifying that, and then styling the hair according to the time period.